Plan to release Fukushima nuclear plant water into sea faces local opposition. The sea is not a garbage dump.
Here's a summary of the article.
Japan's government is asking for international backup as it prepares to release thousands of gallons of water from the Fukushima nuclear power plant into the sea. The controversy comes 11 years after a tsunami swept ashore in 2011 and caused one of the worst nuclear accidents in history, a meltdown in 3 of the 4 reactors at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant 200 miles north of Tokyo. The plant operator, Tokyo Electric Power Company Holdings, or TEPCO, has been collecting radioactive water from rain and runoff over the years. Now, TEPCO says, the time has come to stop adding to the storage problem and begin piping the water into the sea. Piping water into the sea is an outrage, said Haruo Ono, who has been fishing the ocean off the coast of Fukushima all his life. There will be no consequences, says TEPCO. The water will meet all international standards for discharge, and the discharge of the water into the sea, through a long pipe, will only start when all stakeholders have signed off. To prove the discharged water will not harm fish, TEPCO has been raising flounder inside the nuclear plant.
This post received a score of 5,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Good old Blinky. Skimmed through to confirm it was tritium. Yep, they're just morons.
What about tritium makes it okay? I got no knowledge in this field, lol.
Tritium has a half-life of 12 years, and the radiation it makes is absorbed by about half an inch of water. So half the radiation is already gone, the rest will decay relatively quickly, and even the current radiation is unlikely to even reach a single fish once it dilutes into the ocean.
Ooh, I see. Thank you.
It's also naturally occurring, and the only slight issue is releasing it in very large amounts at once. I believe they've been releasing it in relatively small batches for many years with no noticeable impact. People just hear, radiation? And they panic.
The whole reason radiation isn't used in the US to sterilize food products against pathogens. Nobody would buy it, but it's safer than Escherichia coli and almost anything else you can imagine.
There was a company here that did that. Unfortunately, some people on Gov shut it down because they feared that it would explode lol.
I remember reading once, I believe it was in Fast Food Nation, that treating anything with radiation would require the seller to place a radiation warning symbol on the package. That label would steer away most consumers, even though the product itself would not be radioactive or harmful in any way. People got mad irrational fears.
Sometimes I tease people by saying, let me irradiate my food in your microwave. Just to see where the conversation goes.
Fukushima water has already been filtered so that tritium is radioactively weak and has a short half-life of 12 years, so it does not accumulate in the environment. Tritium evaporates with water, it is heavy water, chemically identical to water, so any alternative processing will actually cause greater radiation exposure from inhalation than dumping it into the ocean. Even this isn't usually done because a leak into ground and surface water is worse than just dumping it into the ocean, but of course Fukushima is an unusual situation. Many nuclear power plants just dump some amount of tritium water straight into the river and nobody even knows.
The price of He3 made me wonder if it was economically viable in any way to keep the tritium for conversion to extraction of He3, but the total amount of tritium, 860 terabecquerels, in 2021, only amounts to 2.4 grams in the end, worth a few $1,000s at best, really puts the scale of things into perspective. Also puts into perspective how diluted the tritium already is, and how further diluted it will be on release.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.